I want to get Brandon. Brandon, can you go over some of the cleanup on this as we've discussed?
Yes, sir.
And I've looked into it, so go ahead.
So this whole island area was originally one lot of record. In the early 2000s, a home was permitted and the property was divided. That is an improper division. So what we're looking at here is a rezone to correct that. Ultimately speaking, what we would end up with out here is two parcels. The access to the island does not meet the requirements of the transportation element in the comp plan. So this property would not be eligible for a subdivision to be built. It's important to note that as we move through this process, what we will end up with out there is only two parcels, one by the current property owner who has a house out there, as well as one parcel for the Phillips family. So again, this rezone is being done to rectify an improper division that occurred in the early 2000s. And again, this property would not be eligible for a subdivision based upon the access requirements established in the comp plan.
So just to make sure, the access easement will not allow more than just one house to be put on that piece of property.
So in terms of allowable density, there could be more than one home. However, the property could not be split. So what we would end up with, again, would be two parcels on the island, one owned by the property owner who currently owns a house.
Already there.
That's already there. And then one parcel that would be owned by the Phillips family.
So they couldn't build 7 or 8 houses?
They would not be able to divide the land and build 7 or 8 houses as a subdivision.
And this was a past error.
This is something that happened in the early 2000s, so this rezone is just working to clean that up and allow us to acknowledge the division that took place at that time.
Okay. And the other question I have is, we would DEP, and I know you can't speak for DEP, but would that be, is there a sewer access? I like to say they wanted to build a house out there. Would that be a sewer access, or would that be?
I believe there are sewer taps there. However, that would be something that would need to be confirmed with the utility company.
Okay.
Anything else, Fred?
I know DEP, when I looked into this, DEP had went in there before and stopped them from clearing some, I guess, some sawgrass and some other things. This place, I've been out there. I went out there whenever we was clearing everybody out, and it is, there's absolutely no way the easement driving across there. I mean, you go 1 foot one way, 1 foot the other way, you in the bay. The easement is not very good. But I mean, if we're cleaning up an old issue, and there's only going to be, they can only build one house on it. That's my fear. I don't want a bunch of stuff out there, because it's, for one thing, you're going to have to build that house 22 foot off the ground, if I'm not mistaken, because of our floodplain.
Depending on the base flood.
Depending on the base of the floodplain. So, I mean, I've just done a little digging into this thing, and it's, I just had those questions, and I wanted you guys to know about it.
Yeah, I asked them the same questions. I think any house along the coast, for the most part, in the low-lying areas is going to be 20 foot in the air, and we have a lot of that. Shell Point's full of them. Oyster Bay's full of, I think that's kind of the norm.
Well, and again, Mr. Nichols, just the density would allow for more than one home to be built. However, the property could not be split into individual parcels. It would not be eligible for a subdivision.
So and that's what my confirmation from you is that they couldn't go out there and build 8 houses on it.
The density could potentially allow for it. However, again, the parcel, it could not be split. So while our density allows for it, they wouldn't be able to split the property up and sell individual parcels.
I got you. So they wouldn't be able to just farm them out and sell them to each individuals.
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, there's also some wetland areas out there that they wouldn't be able to build in.
Yeah, I mean, it's surrounded by marsh grass.
And then as well, you also have the 50-foot mean high water setback that would apply.
Well, and like I say, when I went out there, the water was, I mean, it goes underwater every time, so. Okay.
Further discussion?
I don't think so.
So our motion was for discussion. Do we have a new motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second. 85?
The original
That changed.
zoning maps were created in 1985. And in this area along the coast, you know, the maps were kind of hard to read in terms of coastline. So that could have played a part in some of the confusion in terms of the zoning of the property.
And so I worked with Mr. Phillips, and we met with Ms. Messersmith and worked with the county extensively, and to just try to rectify a mistake that was made. Mr. Phillips, a few years ago, Mr. Phillips' father passed away and his mother, and that passed down to the family members. That property was sold a few years ago to a gentleman, and that gentleman, the Phillips family held the loan. That gentleman did go in and did some clear cutting, and that's why the DEP, all that letter and the DEP violations, that property was foreclosed on because he didn't make the payments, and the Phillips family took the property back. The Phillips property just wants to correct a mistake. They've been paying taxes on this property at the higher